This is the Greg Bedard Patriots Podcast with Nick Cattles.
Hey everybody, it's Greg Bedard. Welcome into the Greg Bedard Patriots Podcast. We are back again with part 2 of our look at the 53-man roster, my initial projection. But first, this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. Download the app today and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. And take the guesswork out of buying MLB or even NFL tickets with the season rapidly approaching with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. So in part 1, we went over the offensive projection for the 53-man roster, which probably has a lot more, it definitely has a lot more questions than the Patriots do on defense, where they return most of their unit, most of their coaches. The head coach is Jerod Mayo, obviously one of the former de facto defensive coordinators from when Belichick was here. A little overview. I kept 25 players on defense. I kept 4 players among the specialists. I got to tell you, I was so happy to go through this and not have 4 special teams guys. Only one this time around, and I think you can guess who that is. But let's start on the edge, which probably has a little bit more controversy, more than the other positions. Traditionally, the Patriots have kept 5.8 edge end type guys. We don't know how things are going to go with Jerod Mayo and DeMarcus Covington. But I ended up keeping 5. I ended up keeping 5 interior guys. Most of the time it's 4. I went with 5. We'll get into that in a second. But so at end, the guys I have on my roster as of right now entering training camp: Matthew Judon, Dietrich Wise, Joshua Uche, Anthony Jennings, Keon White. No big surprises there. Released, I have Oshane Exemenes, however you pronounce his name, I don't know, William Bradley King, John Morgan, and Jotham Russell. So I guess I would start here with this group. I guess, we have to talk about Matthew Judon and his future with the Patriots. What I know is he may be playing nice publicly, and he has said all the right things. And if you want to believe him, take him at his word, go right ahead. I'm not going to stop you. What I can tell you is, from the people that I've talked to, he is not going to play under his current contract. At least for the Patriots. I can't talk about any place else. That's my understanding. I don't know exactly what's been communicated to the team, but that's my understanding. You could also put Devon Godchow in that bucket. So the question gets in, what do you want to do with Matthew Judon? Do you want to extend him? Do you want to give him a short-term raise? Would you rather trade him to a contender or somebody who wants to pay him? All those options, I would think, are currently on the table for the Patriots. Here's where I am right now. I would be in favor, as of this moment, of giving him a bump, $3-4 million for this year, something like that, to get him to around 10. Just because I think he's a very good player. I think that Jerod Mayo is going to want his defense to show out. It's his baby, just like it was Belichick's. And quite frankly, the defense is going to be the way this team competes. So why would you hurt that, at least in the near term? And the other thought is, all right, you just let Judon, say you let him play out the deal. He leaves, you get a comp pick. He's going to be, 33 at that time. I don't know what kind of contract he's going to command. But you could let him walk. You would get a comp pick in 2026. Here's where I am on that. So I would prefer to have Judon because I do think the defense and this team has a chance to at least compete and learn how to compete. And there's nothing wrong with that. Even though they're not winning the Super Bowl this year, starting the train on the tracks to that is important. And Judon could be one of those guys who does that. Maybe you just hold on to him and trade him at the deadline. If you get there and you see, all right, it's not happening for us this year, that would be a good time. When are you going to get more for him? Probably this summer, especially if a contender, somebody who perceives themselves as a contender, gets through training camp, gets to the preseason and says, man, our pass rush is not good enough. We could really use a boost. Or a contender suffers an injury to one of their prime edge guys. Now, all of a sudden, somebody gets desperate. You could get something. Waiting for the trade deadline, yeah, it could happen, but might not because they know it's a rental. There's no guarantee that Judon's going to stick around after the season. So, but look, the big piece of the puzzle for me here is, all right, what else do the Patriots have? Keon White is a big component of this. If he continues to look like he did in the offseason and he looks like, all right, this guy needs to play. He needs to start and play. Where is that going to be? Is that going to be opposite Judon? Are you going to sit Anthony Jennings and Josh Uche? Are you going to sit Dietrich Wise, who it seemed like Keon White had passed last year? But it looks like White is in a little different position this year in this scheme, standing up more of a sort of Leo linebacker in this scheme. Definitely a worthwhile conversation, and I think it's something that's going to evolve over the course of the summer, right up until probably the season. What do they want to do? I think some of the guys like Ximenes, Bradley King, Russell, I think Ximenes looks like, he has a chance. He flashed at times in the offseason. So, maybe you just decide to get younger there. Maybe the Patriots take the drastic route and just get younger across the board and they part with Matthew Judon and Dietrich Wise. I don't think that's totally out of the realm of possibility. Two pretty big personalities in that locker room. I could see Wise being a career Patriot, and I wouldn't hate that. He's a good dude to have around, certainly a leader on this team. But as of right now, I have Matthew Judon on the roster. That is certainly up for debate, and I think will be a rolling conversation as we go. At defensive tackle, I have Christian Barmore. Obviously, just got the big extension. Devon Godchow, Daniel Ekawale, Armon Watts, one of their free agent signings, and Sam Roberts. I have cut Jeremiah Farms and Tristan Hill. I think the only surprise here might be in terms of the numbers, and I can't exactly give you a good reason why I decided to keep 5 instead of 4. Maybe because Roberts was a draft pick of this team, but you sort of see it as Barmore and Ekawale sort of pair together. Godchow and Watts sort of pair together as far as their profiles on the interior. So you have a backup in each spot. Roberts has a little bit of edge versatility. Maybe why I kept him, but now looking at it, I don't know why I did it, and this could be a place that I make adjustments as we go forward and evolve in the 53-man roster. I get a lot of questions about Godchow on whether he's going to be here or not. I can't answer that. All I could say is the Patriots, now he's a guy I could see moving at the trade deadline. Right now, the Patriots don't have a run-stuffing nose tackle besides him. Watts can do it a little bit. But we haven't seen a whole lot of him. We haven't seen him in pads yet. And the Patriots' run defense was really good last year. Godchow was part of that. You're not any good on defense if you can't stop the run. And so I see Godchow being here. He likes to get paid, and he is not going to play under his current contract either. So what happens? Do the Patriots give in? Quite frankly, and I'm sure Bill Belichick's quote that Devon Godchow is one of the best interior defensive linemen in the league is not doing Elliott Wolf in the front office any favors. But that's the group I have at defensive tackle. I like them. I would say Roberts is the most expendable guy. I like Farms in terms of what he gives as a pass rusher. Don't know much about Tristan Hill. I'll just admit that right now. But I like Barmore. I like Godchow. I like Ekawale as a sub rusher. And Watts is sort of the Lawrence Guy replacement. And we'll have to see how that goes. We will get to the linebackers and safeties as soon as we take a break here. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Prize Picks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Get in on the daily action with your friends and become part of the Prize Picks community today. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000. With the finals over, the hoop action doesn't stop on Prize Picks. Women's basketball is still heating up with stars like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese looking to make names for themselves alongside greats like Breanna Stewart and Asia Wilson. You could win up to 100 times your cash watching them ball out. Just the other day, I took Caitlin Clark for more than 3.5 3-points made and Breanna Stewart for more than 23 points. Plus, I went over to baseball because you all know I like baseball. Kyle Schwarber for more than 9 hitter fantasy score and Bryce Miller for more than 4 pitcher strikeouts. It's a lot of fun. You got to get in on this. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks for a deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Okay, we are back with Prize Picks and Game Time. Make sure you use that code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100 on Prize Picks and $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. Okay, so now we are at off-ball linebackers. Traditionally, the Patriots keep 3.5. As this scheme has evolved, that's changed because they use a lot of safeties. You can get by with less. I kept 4. I think that the Patriots, this could be a position that is more critical in special teams with the new kickoff rules. Those type safeties, linebackers, tight ends, big receivers, they're going to play larger roles. So on the team, I have Juwan Bentley, Jelani Tavai, no surprise there. Sione Taki, and Raekwon McMillan. I would say the only mild surprise is Raekwon McMillan. We'll see how long he lasts on the field. This is a guy who the Patriots coaches love. They always have big roles for him. He always ends up getting hurt sometime during the summer. It's unfortunate, and I hope he gets over that because I've always thought he's a good player, certainly a good blitzer. In his younger days, he was a pretty fast guy. Patriots could use more of that. Cut, I have Christian Ellis, Steve Chambers, Joe Giles Harris, and Jontre Hunter. I like all their linebackers. I think they all have promise. I mean, I don't really have much to say about this group. I think it's pretty straightforward. We'll see whether it's McMillan. Can he stay healthy, or does one of the younger guys, sort of the unheralded guys, do they unseat him and take his spot? I think that's possible. I think they could also go with 3 linebackers and beef up at safety or another spot. That is certainly possible. Let's get into the safeties. This group is probably the easiest. 53-man average I have is 3. I have 5 on the roster. Kyle Duggar, Jabrill Peppers, Marte Mapu, Jalen Hawkins, free agent addition, and Joshua Bledsoe. I've cut Del Pettis, who I assume is an undrafted free agent. I have him as a rookie. I don't know much about him. Duggar, Peppers, Mapu, definitely here. Hawkins got a lot of playing time in the offseason at free safety. A little undersized, decently quick. I wouldn't say he's a blazer or anything like that. I don't think he's a long-term future guy here, but certainly a stopgap for the team if they need it. We'll have to see what Mapu does. Does he get more snaps at free safety come training camp? We haven't really seen that yet. He's been mostly a sub linebacker. We know all about Duggar, contract extension, Jabrill Peppers, sort of the heartbeat, the heart and soul of this defense. Could see him being a long-term Patriot. Bledsoe certainly flashed at times last year in training camp. Some in the offseason. I like Bledsoe. I want to see more run. But he's another one of these bigger, stronger sort of athletes back there for them that are more, you would probably say, are box safeties. I would like to see the Patriots get some more guys with range because this is a space game. They prefer that at, moving safeties to linebackers and taking advantage of it there. We'll see whether they're still good enough at free safety or not. So that is linebacker and safety. We will be back in a second with cornerbacks and specialists. Who doesn't love going to an MLB game during the summer, especially with the Red Sox turning things around? The ballpark has always been home to me and my family, and we'll definitely get there at some point, and we'll use Game Time to get us there. Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, viewed from your seats, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. I got to tell you, I've been on the app. I buy tickets. We're going to go to a Red Sox game, I think, in a couple weeks. I went through Game Time. I love how you can see the views from all the seats in the venue. That, especially at Fenway, with obstructed view and all that stuff, that's a must for me. I need to know where I'm sitting. I need to know what the view is. I don't want to be pointed towards center field when everything's going on my right and have to be in traction for the next week. So I love the Game Time app for giving me that view because I have to have it. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets. Lowest price guaranteed. Welcome back, everybody. Okay, we are now on to the cornerbacks. Another group on defense. As we said, the defense is pretty much chalk at this point. 56-man average is 5.6. I have the Patriots keeping 6, cutting 5. On the roster, Christian Gonzalez, Jonathan Jones, Marcus Jones, Alex Austin, Isaiah Bolden, and rookie Marcellus Dial. Cut Marco Wilson, Sean Wade, Mikey Victor, Azizi Hearn, Caleb Ford Dement. So I would say a couple interesting things here. If the Patriots go to a youth movement, could Jonathan Jones be on the way out? I haven't heard too much discussion about it. I love Jonathan Jones. I don't even care about the cap implications or anything like that. Again, this would be another spot where the Patriots perhaps look at this and say, is Jonathan Jones at 31 or whatever he is he part of our long-term plan, the team that we want in 2, 3, 4 years to contend for a Super Bowl title? If not, like say if Marcus Jones takes a step, and he hasn't really done much to this point except punt returns, has dealt with injuries, he's undersized, he's been a little injury prone, but let's just say for the sake of argument that Marcus Jones looks like a world beater, that he looks like he's the next great slot cornerback for the Patriots, and he's the guy. He's pathed Jonathan Jones, who has traditionally been the Patriots' best slot cornerback. Marcus Jones passes him, gets the mantle. Now what do you do with Jonathan Jones? Do you keep him? Would you rather trade him and perhaps an Alex Austin or Isaiah Bolden or Marcellus Dial or even Marco Wilson or Sean Wade? I'm going to allow. Marco Wilson has had his moments this offseason. So is Sean Wade. That some of these guys look ready to play, ready to be in a bigger role. Do you trade Jonathan Jones and go with Gonzalez, Marcus Jones, and any of those guys, Austin, Bolden, Dial, Wilson, Wade, as the other boundary cornerback, and you keep Marcus Jones at slot cornerback? I don't totally rule that out. I think that's certainly possible. But I would say this is another spot on this team where they will look to get better. Not only churning the bottom of the roster, but also possibly in free agency next year, the draft. We know Christian Gonzalez is good, or we think we know that he's really good. But other than that, a bunch of question marks. And the team does need to develop depth there. And do you start now by shipping off a Jonathan Jones and letting the kids play, letting the kids sink or swim to let you know what you need going in the future? I mean, I would be a little disappointed in that because, again, I've always been a big Jonathan Jones fan, and I would like to see this group go forward, to see Jonathan Jones one more time with the Patriots. Hopefully he can stay healthy and see what they have on defense. Because if your cornerbacks aren't good enough, I don't care how good your pass rush is or your linebackers or your safeties, you still got to go up against all these really good quarterbacks that the Patriots are going to face, and you better be able to cover. So as of this moment, I think that 6 is the best route. Gonzalez, Jay Jones, Marcus Jones, Alex Austin, Isaiah Bolden, and Marcellus Dial. Specialists, 53-man average in the past, 6.6. That might be generous. I might have listed some other people at their normal positions. I now have 4. Probably the most controversial move here is at kicker. I am keeping Joey Sly and releasing Chad Ryland. Yes, he was a draft pick. He was not good enough last year. He was not good enough in the offseason moments that we saw. Sly was better. I have no patience. 2 things I don't have patience for this year after watching last year. Really crappy offense. So 3 things: really crappy offense, stupid ass turnovers, and kickers who can't kick. And I'm not dealing with it again. If I'm Gerard Mayo, I'm not going down like Bill Belichick and adhering to his draft pick, who might have cost him his job last year. Whoever does the best this summer between Sly and Ryland, I'm going with. At the moment, it's Sly. Of course, that can change. Chad Ryland could come back a much better kicker. Who knows? Punter Bryce Behringer. Hopefully he gets off the golf course enough to be ready to punt. I'm just kidding. Bryce, I'm just kidding. I'm glad to see you out there. Joe Cardona, and the lone quote-unquote special teamer, Brendan Schooler. I got some questions about that. Look, they love him. He's really good. He's fast. He's an animal on special teams. Love it. Got to stop with, number 1, the penalties. He has to stop getting so many penalties. And number 2, yapping to the officials like he's Matthew Slater, like he has some sort of standing. He doesn't. He's a special teamer. Just go do your job. Don't ruffle any feathers and just get out of there. And that's all we ask of the special teamers on this team. So that is my initial 53-man roster projection. We will be back next week, hopefully with Nick back from vacation, hopefully with Aaron Schatz from FTN and his new almanac out there. He's pretty high on the Patriots, you might be surprised to learn. Remember, this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. Download the app today and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. And take the guesswork out of buying MLB or even NFL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Remember, it's concert season. It's the summer. I've already been to one. Saw Hootie at Fenway. Got my tickets on the Game Time app. You can get concert tickets on there as well and tickets for anything else you want. So make sure you check it out. Thanks for listening, everybody. Hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. We will see you back next week. Camp is going to be here before we know it. Hopefully the humidity breaks at some point, or else the medium-sized boy is going to be skinny boy and dehydrated. So, see you, everybody. Thanks.